bbig. Um, uh, so the news on this stock was that they merged with this company and they did a deal um, to create some shit, uh, some shit about some digital something. Doesn't really matter to me because you know the news is the news. Whether the news is real or not, I'm trading the reaction to the news. So um the float was 7.68 mil, which is great. The outstanding was 14.27 um million, and and you know this stock meant everything that I was looking for. Um, so it had no overhead resistance within a year. If you see right here, um, first green day with volume, catalyst, big percent gainer, no overhead resistance, and volume. It had all that, the whole 9 yards. So pre-market, I'm watching it. I'm tempted to get in right here from, but from what I experienced yesterday, trading pre-market, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. So as market opened, it started spiking, and um, as market opened, it started spiking, and I pretty much this would work. Give me a second. I pretty much tried to long it here. It spiked, pulled back, and did this thing right here, where it just consolidated. And I'm trying to get everything up real quick. All right, here we go. So um, I entered here. Um, I entered here and here multiple times, thinking it was gonna bounce, but it didn't, and I exited 2 or 3 times. Um, each for a $30 loss. You know, I was sticking to my risk. Today, I did well with sticking sticking to my risk because once it hit 30, I cut. So it would pull back, cut at 30, pull back, cut at 30. Like 3 times I got in, and this stock was just confusing to me, and it was doing like a flagpole pattern. Um, if I can show you here, where I haven't used this in a while, but you see this triangle right here. So I can get this other one. So it's kind of like doing this triangle right here. If I can get these other shit to be removed, but it was doing a triangle. So I was like a flagpole, and I was thinking like, okay, maybe it's just gonna maybe it's just gonna fucking um maybe it's just gonna pick a direction and go, and which it did. But from when I was watching the price action, it looked like it was gonna go up, or maybe I just wanted it to go up. But it looked like it was going up. It still looked like it had enough volume to push up, and I entered about one, two, three, three times, and I entered and exit three times, and it just wasn't giving me what I wanted. And then on the third time, I saw that it was about to hit my risk, and I exited right here just before I had this big candlestick right here, and I got out. Let me see if I can just show you motherfuckers here. So yeah, and as soon as it showed me that I was gonna fail, I got out right here, and it just came fading, fading, fading. The blue is where I entered, the red is where I exited. Uh, so it started just tanking, tanking, tanking. So I gave it time, and I gave it time for it to tank, and it was. So then, oh no, it's just too much. So then right here, I entered right here this first green, first blue triangle. I entered thinking it was gonna bounce, and I think I entered again, and ended up tanking again, and I sold my shares, and it just wasn't bouncing. Right here, I was down 120. I tried it like three times. I was down 30 times each time, and then it kind of went a little bit over 30, and it went like to like 35. My So that's how I ended up at being negative 120, trying three times. Um, because sometimes you're not always going to cut your loss at the exact price that you want because the order just won't execute there. So then I gave it a fourth try right here. Didn't work. Then I saw it uptrending here, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get faked out again. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait for a pullback, and it started uptrending, 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 and it wasn't giving me a pullback, and then it finally did, but it held. So I entered right here, and it started uptrending, uptrending. The pullback, I'm like, okay, what the fuck is this stock doing? Like, is it gonna give me a bounce or not? And this one was a really weird one, and it didn't give me a bounce at all. So I sold right here, right when it broke this bottom right here. Then as I continued to watch, um, it started uptrending again, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's gonna give me a second chance. Here's the A, here's the A, here's the B, here's the C, and I was looking for a D for it to ride up, but it never did. It's as if someone was just dumping shares, selling like the company was just had an offering and it was dumping shares. But there was no offering because I looked it up to see if there was an offering and there wasn't. So I'm like, how the fuck this shit just keep dropping? So um, it didn't, and I saw that it wasn't gonna go my way, and I sold the shares again. I did well. I did all right with cutting my losses. I didn't have one of those big, stubborn losses. It was just accumulated. I accumulated bits and bits and bits and bits of losses up to negative 399, which is $400. 400 is a bit bigger than what I wanted, but I mean, I gave it a try. I kept trying, and it didn't go well. Um, it's about one, two, three, four, five, 6, 7. So it's as if I did 7 day trades instead of 1 week. Instead of within spread it out within the course of a month or a week or so. I did it all in one day on one stock and gave that a try. I almost forgot I traded this stock before. I traded bbig. If I can find it right here. Um, I tried shorting it here because it opened red and then it had a spike and came crashing down, and it was fading in and out of red to green, green to red, and then I saw it was just gonna fail, so I shorted right here, ended up pushing right here. I covered for a $40 loss. I wasn't gonna let my um, risk go beyond what I wanted, and I covered right here, and it came crashing down. So I was kind of right that it was gonna come down. I just had a bad entry, and and I wasn't patient enough with this trade, and I'm shorting right here when it should have been right here, but I wouldn't short right here because right here it was up a couple of dollars or a couple or a dollar or two, and I'm not gonna short on a green day. It's right here when it went red is when I decided to short because it went into the red. But I know I'm not explaining this well. um, but although I'm down what 440 for the day, I felt like I improved on cutting losses quickly. I did that well today. I kind of gave away my gains from yesterday, but it's okay. I managed to follow my rules well, and that's what matters. But that's all.